What's up, Dream Builder? Are you someone who's interested in creating a life by your design through all things real estate? Well, I can assure you, you are in the right place. Join me, your host, Casanova Brooks. I'm an award-winning real estate agent and investor as we uncover the top tips, strategies, and the mindset of the top real estate entrepreneurs across the world. Stay locked in because we're about to go on a journey that will change your life. What's up, Dream Builder? We are back again with another episode. And this episode, I'm excited to bring to you because there's a lot of people right now that they want to grow their brand. They want to grow their impact. They want to grow their influence. And we all know that video and just marketing in general is the way that you do that. But a lot of the times what we don't know is how exactly we can do that. So today, I brought an expert on the line, somebody who I've been a fan of, and I'm excited to share her and her story with you. Without further ado, please help me in welcoming my sister, Krista Mayshore, to the show. Krista, you want to go ahead and say what's up to DreamNation?
Hey, DreamNation, Casanova, thank you so much. I just adore you. You're so dang cute. I just have to say, I love your energy. It's awesome. Such great energy.
Thank you. Look, that's what I pride myself on. I think we all wonder, like, what do we have to give to this world, right? And for me, I always know if I can just have that energy and I can infect someone else with positivity and great energy, then I think that's enough to get me into pearly gates whenever I meet my maker. So that's what I put it on.
Yeah, well, you do a good job. Very good aura about you. I love it.
Cool. So I always love to make sure that we start off with the proper introduction. And the way that I do that is I compare us as thought leaders, change makers, entrepreneurs to superheroes. And why? Is because we're constantly flying around the world. We're putting on our cape and we're trying to solve some of the world's biggest problems. And I know you definitely are. So the way that I always like to phrase this is what we know is there's a person out there that's named Superwoman. And behind that Superwoman, there's that Lois Lane. We don't a lot of the times know how to describe who Lois Lane is. And so what I'm asking you is, we know that there's this Superwoman out here that's named Krista Mayshore, but behind that S on the chest, who is that Lois Lane?
That's I like that analogy. Okay, so I used to be a teacher, right? So I have a master's degree in curriculum and instruction. I love teaching. Like, I am a teacher at heart. I'm a lover of people. I love people. I like to be liked. I like to make people smile. And I have a really high regard for my family and just doing the right thing. Like, for me, I always say people before things and the things will come, right? I never ever, if it's ever has anything to do with somebody feels like I'm doing them wrong, I'll just take it, give it to you. It's just not worth it for me to ever have to ever leave anybody feeling bad. So, I love people. I love my family. I like cooking on the weekends and stuff, and I'm definitely a workaholic, but only because it's my hobby. It's not like it's really work. I love working, and so I have to really pull myself away from it because it doesn't seem like work to me. So.
Yeah, no, and I think when you first get into real estate, you want to go so hard, and that's what it's taught to you, right? It's to just run really fast. But if you don't have any type of harmony in your life, you can burn out really quickly. So I guess my first question to you is, how the fact that you do work so much and you do love it, what are the boundaries that you've been able to put on yourself to avoid burnout?
Okay, so when I was doing real estate, that's a really good question. So I'm still doing real estate, but my focus now is coaching. So I don't do, like last year we did $1.1 million in real estate, like gross commissions, but I only had sold 90 homes last year, which for me is not a lot. Like I usually sell around 150, 160. But
Whoa. Because the average person, they're going to hear that and be like, wait, she's talking about coaching. Right now, I'm still trying to get to 50 homes. So talk to us before we get back into that coaching part. How did you get yourself up, even with your team, to doing 150 homes in a year?
Okay, so it wasn't really a team. When I was doing 150 homes, it was me, a transaction coordinator, and an assistant. So it was I didn't have another licensed person. And then, so my best year, I did 169 homes. Again, I was the only licensed agent. There was no other realtors. Really, really good systems. And just honestly, back then I was working way too much. I was worked way too much. But the past about probably 5 or 6 years, I don't work weekends or nights. I really made sure that, 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock would be my last appointment, and I would not work on the weekends. I don't do open houses. I don't cold call. I don't door knock. I use attraction-based marketing. And I create a lot of video content. I properly distribute it, and my video content is doing selling for me more than anything else, right? It's like when I'm sleeping, when I'm on vacation, my video marketing content is still out there, reaching hundreds of thousands of people, hundreds of hours of watch time on every video that I create. And it just like, that's how you brand yourself. And it's a strategy that anybody can do, right? Like you can be a brand new agent and in a brand new city. In fact, I have a book called 3 Clients in 30 Days. And it's basically, if you had to start from scratch and you knew nobody, what would you do in 30 days to get more clients? And I really give my blueprint in that. And what I would tell people is that you just want to let your community get to know you. I call it a community market leader. I have that word trademarked. And so what that means is that you're the community market leader of your town. Anything real estate related or community related, you're talking about, right? So if there's a new school in the area, or a new restaurant, or the best sushi place to eat at, or what are the best dog parks, best happy hour, interviewing local professionals, interviewing local businesses, talking about real estate, doing market updates. That's what I did. And I had to learn this the hard way. I don't want to talk too much, so please interject at any time. But
no, I'm loving it. We're good.
You did 45 transactions your first year, which is phenomenal in an 8-month time frame, right? And the reason why is you had a huge why. Like you're ready to lose everything. You just lost your mom, and you lost your house, and you were like desperate. Well, that's kind of what happened to me when I started. My first year, I did 69 transactions. I was a teacher, and my daughter got sick, and so I left teaching to become a stay-at-home mom. I wanted to play real estate, and I came home one day, and I got a phone call from my friend that she saw my husband at the time having an affair. And so 2 weeks later, we had just bought in a brand new house. I have 2 little girls, and I have this new girlfriend coming up, driving my car and picking up my daughters for Thanksgiving. And like my whole world just kind of fell apart. So I had to not just play real estate, but go all in. And so I just went all in. My reason was my daughters. I haven't lived at home since I was 13, and I was in a juvenile hall, in a group home, and a foster home. And so I just wanted to keep my kids safe in their home, and turn that desolate backyard, which at the time was just dirt, into a beautiful backyard with memories and dreams. And so that is what drove me to just crush real estate. And back then I did it the hard way. I remember I door knocked back then, and I wore those ugly, cloud shoes so my feet wouldn't hurt, and almost got bit by dogs and everything else because I'm door knocking, and I'll never forget just some of the stories back then. But I did it. And what I tried to always do is be very, very different. And I always invested in myself, always invested in my education, always invested in coaching. And, I believe in paying for success, paying for speed. I'm a big proponent on that. And it's done me really, really well. And I just tried to be very different. So if everybody else was doing a black and white flyer, I was doing 4-page colored brochures and putting a little disc on my property with 50 flyers and marketing my things on TV and, doing that way. So I just have always tried to be very innovative and very different. And I think that's what has really helped me launch my career and get where I'm at today.
Wow. So powerful story, first off. And we could definitely hear the energy, the passion. And we know in your younger days, for sure, not that you're old now by any stretch of the imagination. But what I mean by that is if you have this type of energy now, I can only imagine 20 years ago when you were crushing it, right? Or even 10 years ago, I can't imagine how you were just dominating your market. So kudos to you. Again, I mean that in the sincere and most appreciative way of you sharing that story. But I guess for someone else that's listening right now, and whether they are a new agent or whether they're somebody who has just not tackled the influence part of branding and having inbound marketing come to them, first off, what's the first thing that you would think someone needs to do in terms of tackling the online world? Is it coming up with your brand story? Is it just, talking about, whatever's relevant in today's market, because those are already the things that people want to hear about? What is that?
So what I would say is, go to my YouTube channel. It's you go to Homes by Krista. You'll see a ton of different types of videos. We've got market update videos and seller videos and buyer videos and community videos and market updates and just anything you can imagine about real estate and community. It's all on there. We have funny videos. We've got, we've done a video on the Super Bowl, or we'll talk about, hey, if you want to upsize. Maybe your home is getting too crampy, and it'll show a guy with his butt crack hanging out. We just do funny stuff, but we also do really very serious stuff. So this strategy, I'll tell you, it helps brand new agents within, an 18-month time frame be able to beat out top producing agents. It's helped top producing agents that are selling 100 homes go to 300 homes within a 2-year time frame, 2.5-year time frame. It's helped agents that are doing 40 deals go to 70, right, and increase their average price point by a couple $100,000. It's just such a strong strategy because, I know you said you interviewed Gene Graziassi, which by the way, you need to tell me how, because I'd love to interview him one of these days. But in his book, Millionaire Success Secrets, he says marketing is attraction. Attraction is marketing, right? Mm-hmm. You want to attract business. And when you're creating video content, I call it the 8 C's. You've got to commit to consistently producing content correctly. Correctly is a huge thing. What I mean by correctly is you need to make sure that you're putting the right content in front of the right people, and you've got to properly distribute it, right? Because if you do video, no one sees it, doesn't make a difference. Right. If you can do that, right, you're going to make a connection, so you're going to convert more clients and customers. And if you can stick to that strategy, I mean, it works because, imagine creating a video and getting 300, 400, 500, 600 hours of watch time on it. I mean, from one video. That's what we do. And we do that multiple times a week. So now we're being seen over and over and over again. So now your referrals go up, your retention goes up. People that never would have ever thought about you, someone that you knew 15 years ago that, that you went to school with, or you met at a party, all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I know that person, they're in real estate. And you can't forget that they're in real estate, right? It just works so well, and you attract the right kind of people. So when I'm a top producer, so when I go on a listing presentation, people are usually interviewing other top producers. So I can't tell you how many times I've seen like waving at my other agents, like going in or going out, right? And I mean, I'll tell you, like, I honestly almost always got it. And it was because, almost always, it's very rare that I would lose a listing. I don't say that in any way to be conceited. I say that because they already knew they were going to hire me before I got there, because they see my mug all over the place. Before I go up to the listing appointment, I've done a 17-minute video that talks all about my marketing and my branding and what makes me different and how that affects them. And, I say why we don't do open houses, and I give stats, and I talk about the videos and that we create and how that affects the seller and what that means to their bottom line. And so they get this whole 17-minute pre-listing presentation video. And by the time I get there, they're like, we love you. Like, where do we sign? They're not asking me about commission. They're not asking me they're just saying, like, hey, how long is it going to take and what's the steps? Like, here we go. Because they already knew before I got there. And I teach this listing process, and what you do beforehand, what you do when you get it, and what you do after is very imperative to success, right? So with that strategy, so so last year from this one strategy, we had closed 48 listings totaling $740,000 in $740,000 or $60,000 in commission. I got the exact number, but anyways, so it's basically 4 transactions a month. We just picked up 2 listings last week from this strategy, and it starts from creating a video content, right? So most people will do this. They'll say, oh, I'm going to do a landing page or create a funnel on what's my home worth, and ask people to get their home analysis. That is not the first step, and this is why we convert so well. We start out creating content relevant to what a seller might be going through. So for example, our campaign in December, January, and also this month is all seller based. So last month it was, hey, are you thinking of selling, but you're afraid to sell because you might not be able to find a replacement property because there's no inventory? Well, guess what? We've got the solutions for you. So it was, 4 videos along that content, and then 4 videos around the market. So if somebody's watching an entire video on that, they're probably thinking about selling. So then you target another video, same thing to them. Then you target a market update, right? Then you target another video on the market. Then you send them to the landing page to get the home evaluation. Once they go to that page, then you send them customer testimonials. Then you send them marketing examples. Then you continue to retarget them. So now when they say, yes, Krista, I want a market analysis, number one, when they go to that landing page, they're so much more likely to say yes because they've already developed a relationship with me. They trust to click, right? So now I follow that up with, okay, great. You want this marketing plan. Now I'd love to show you, but hand deliver the marketing plan to your home. I'm going to do a bomb video letting you know it's there and to check your email because I'm going to be doing a Loom video explaining what the market analysis is. Then I'm dropping off a copy of my book, what to expect when selling your home, right? Then I send a digital copy of this. I also drop off a marketing plan at the same time. And by that point, I've done 11 things that my competitors haven't. So before I show up to the appointment, right? Now they're like, okay, we want a listing presentation. So great. Then I send them the pre-listing video. I've done like 11 things that my competitors haven't done. So that's the reason why that strategy converts so well. Number one, because of what I did beforehand, what I did once I got it, and how I followed it up. Now, once I get there, I've got all these tools and strategies that like just, I'm talking about things the average agent isn't talking about, and really analyzing like data from NAR and from, Inman and from all these other, CoreLogic, and going in there with that avenue. And so when I say, hey, I don't do an open house and here's why, and they're like, thank God, we don't want open houses anyways, and everyone else, now you can't even do them anyways, right? So that's just like, I know I talk really fast, but that's one strategy of many that works so well online. But the only reason it converted so well is because they already developed a relationship with me before I ever walked in their front door.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Somebody right now is super excited to get their videos up. But here's what I would say in the beginning. And I know that this is very base level, but a lot of people, they just struggle with even creating the video, right? Because they can know what they need to do, but people struggle with seeing themselves on camera. People struggle with, oh my God, is this seller going to think that I look stupid? I'm brand new. I don't know everything that she does, and how to maneuver and say those words that are very witty. What would you say to that person if they're brand new to video, maybe not even to the market, but they just can't even see themselves on video?
That's everybody. Casanova, no one, like right now my nose looks super big, right? Because the light's shining on it. I'm thinking, oh my God, my nose right now looks huge. I'm just sitting there going, I need to do this, right? Everyone has their thing they're concerned about. But when you meet people, that's how you look, that's how you sound. And you can't say, hold on, let me rewind and do 15 takes, right? I understand that video is difficult. I still don't wake up and go, yay, I get to record videos today. But I know, it is a strategy that has made me millions of dollars, right? Millions of dollars with this. I've been using video for about 6-8 years now. And I have videos that from back in 2007, I'm like, oh my God, I look so terrible, or so bad. Back in the short sale days, we were doing videos, but it works. You just have to start doing it. One thing I tell people to do is just to grab their cell phone and to start doing like 10 video text messages to their friends, their family, friends of friends on Facebook, and just look for something cool that happened to them. Like, Casanova, it's Krista Mashore. Hey, I saw you have this awesome, podcast, DreamNation. I love it. It was such a great episode today. Krista Mashore, she's awesome. Have her on there again. Just wanted to say hi and have a great day, right? You start with that. You don't ask for referrals. You don't say you're in real estate. You just do that. Will help you start getting comfortable. And once you start seeing how well and effective that works, you'll start getting a little bit more excited about doing video. Just start doing video, alive, because you can't hit re-record, and talk about what something you've learned today. Talk about a book that you've read. Talk about, a home that's recently gone on the market and what's so neat about it. Talk about, for example, this month's campaign was the CoreLogic's real estate predictions for 2021. I researched what CoreLogic was going to do, and I just did 4 videos. One was on, hey, the more inventory is going to be on the market. Another one was interest rates are going to remain low. Another one was home prices are going to continue to go up. And another one was, I can't remember. But anyways, I researched it, and then I just regurgitated. I was like I was a reporter of something I had learned, right? When you understand who your client avatar is and what their problems are, you can really speak to their problems. The more you can speak to somebody's problems, the more you can be seen as a solution. Now, perception is reality. So if you've never even, we have had agents, brand new agents gotten voted best realtor in her town. I'll never forget, Sue LaFave. She got voted best realtor, had never sold a house before. And she's like, oh my God, you guys, I got voted best realtor. I still haven't sold a house yet, because she was creating all this content. So perception is reality. And when you can position yourself differently, you know what you're talking about. I've lost, look at me. I've lost some nails right now. I'm missing 4 nails because of Corona. I'm still on here, and I still did 8 videos yesterday. Definitely not perfect. And I have, my thumbs look like toes, and I'm still on here doing the video. So the point is that we all have something, right? And people don't like perfection anyways. People like you to be imperfect. So if you don't like money, don't do it. But if you like money and you like to make an impact and you really want to serve people, then video is your best way to do it.
Man, that's so much value, so many nuggets. What I think is super dope too is that you said, listen, just document, right? Document what you've learned today. Because if you spend so much time now trying to figure out how to create, then you're getting too much into the weeds. And that was something, bringing up Dean, that he had told me. He was like, you know what? The moment that I stopped saying, hey, I got to show up, right? And I got to show out. But the moment that I just ask myself, like, what am I here for? I'm here to serve. I'm not here to show up,
Yeah.
show out. I'm just here to serve someone else. I think that could help. And when he said that, it was very impactful for me. And that's one of the things that I continue to do is just every single day, even if I'm afraid of anything, right? And I'm scared, you do it scared, but you just know that like you're coming from a place of servants and abundance, and then it'll always work out in the end because other people, what I've found is that people love when you're just transparent and you're vulnerable because they're like, oh, it's like dogs, babies, everything. They're always so vulnerable, right? And it's like, oh, that's so cute. Like, it's just, So that's one thing that I've found. And so I love that you brought that part up. Just document what you're doing today, learning today, and that'll help.
And people, reality TV shows are the number one TV show, right? And the reason, because people are interested, so they want to get to know you. And you don't just want it to all be real estate. I always tell people like 50-50, or 70-30, depending on where you're putting it. But let them see what you're eating for dinner. Or like last night I did a video, my husband's doing my ice maker. I'm so excited. And I just posted it and people love that kind of stuff. Or the other day I was getting ready and had no makeup on, putting my makeup on and talking about the fact that I just took this training and it was like 3-day long. And for the first 2 days, I was like, I know all this stuff, right? But I kept a good attitude and I kept showing up. And the last day, one 45-minute session was worth the whole 24 hours that I had been on this class. I mean, no joke. And I was like, so what was the point? The point is that, have a good attitude, keep showing up, go play all out and be appreciative of that 45 minutes. And most people would have been pissed off because 2 days went by and they didn't learn anything because I already knew most of it. But I was like, nope, I'm going to keep coming. And that 45 minutes is something I had never learned before. And it's going to help me be a way better salesperson, impact more lives, and be able to really, really, truly serve people. And I learned so much in that 45 minutes, right? And it was just, I just reported it. I just reported it back and people were like, oh my gosh, I love you're doing your makeup right now and you don't care. And, and it wasn't perfect. It was kind of fuzzy on my thing, but I just did it. And now they get to see me personally. I also showed that I take education serious and I was just doing a 3-day event, right? That showed them that as well. It let them get to know me on a personal level. I was a little bit vulnerable because I wasn't perfect looking, and people just love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. So a lot of what you've thrown out there, I think for the average person, if they listen to this, they might say, oh my God, it's overwhelming, right? And they just want to have a fraction of that. And the only reason why I say that, I get it. I run very, very fast too, and I get that, so I know. But for you said, here's what I'm doing. I'm doing 11 different things before I even hit the seller. Going back to this, right? The bomb video, all that. So they say, oh my God, like how much of a team does she have that helps her to do that? And if she does it all on her own, how? Because me as a newer agent to this whole concept, how can I start to tackle something like that? Because it feels overwhelming. Like I don't even know how to do what would you say to that person?
Okay, I'd say it might sound like a lot, but really it's not, right? I mean, so one of the steps I didn't kind of go elaborate on is after you get back home, you do a Zoom video, a Loom video or Zoom video, and you record the screen of you talking to the seller, breaking down the home evaluation that you just dropped off, right? 3-minute video. So if you really do all this, once you've got your marketing plan and you've got your materials set, it's no more than an hour's worth of work. It really isn't. So let's put it in perspective. I mean, truly it's an hour's worth of work. It takes about, let's just say 2 hours. Let's just say it's 2 hours. So it takes you, let's say 15 minutes to drive there and back. That's 30 minutes, right? It takes you 15 minutes to do a Loom video, which it'll take you 3 once you get good at it. First it'll take you 15, then it will take you 3 minutes because you get so good at it. The bomb video takes 1 minute, right? And then you have systems. So like once automatically the digital book gets delivered, automatically the marketing plan gets delivered digitally, automatically the listing presentation video gets delivered automatically. It's just the first time that it took me to create it. So really it's not that big of a deal. It's just a matter of thinking differently and understanding that, as a real estate agent, we're entrepreneurs and we're business owners. We can't get up in the morning at 10 and then go have lunch from 12 to 2 and then come back for an hour. But I think a lot of people don't really take it super, super serious. But if you were to truly put in 40 hours a week and try to be as laser focused as possible and utilizing techniques called like the Pomodoro technique, right? It'll help save you 16 hours a week. Or just like, minimizing all of your, turning your phone off and being really laser focused and turning all your, your tabs down and just focusing on doing that one thing. You'd be amazed at how much you can get done. So, This is the kind of thing that I've always done to help me sell over 100 homes a year. Like I've sold over 100 homes a year almost every year except for 2, which one of them was last year because I'm coaching, and we do some. And we've hit 7 figures in coaching. We did it this month actually. We did 7 figures this month in coaching. So that is like really where my focus is. So we closed 90 homes as a team, and that's my brother, a transaction coordinator, a part-time marketer, and a part-time videographer, and they're doing all the things that I just talked about. Once you get the systems in play and you just like really wrap your head around, okay, this is my career, and to be different, this is what's going to ensure that I get this listing, right? I mean, 48 listings last year from that strategy. 700 and was it $40,000 or $60,000? $1,000 worth of commission. I mean, that's a lot of money, and I think it's worth it, right? But it's just a matter of So we did $743,580 worth of transactions from those 48 listings. And some people might say this too, Casanova. They might say, well, Krista, didn't it cost you money to deliver that marketing plan and to deliver that book? Well, yeah, maybe it cost me $10. But again, so let's just say it cost me $10. Remember what I made. Okay. So it's like, we have to be willing to invest not just our time, but also resources in order to get to that level.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because we keep going back, like success definitely loves speed. And I heard you say that, in the beginning. And so you have to understand that you got to get faster with what you're doing, and you got to become more precise on it. And even in the beginning, when I was first starting out, I didn't know, obviously, this was 6 years ago, but funnels weren't really big at that time. But now that I look at it, right, I'm like, man, I couldn't imagine doing things without automation and funnels. And you don't want to take yourself out of the transaction, but at the same time, you want to make sure that any of those MWAs, those minimum wage activities that you're doing, can you hire that out for a one-off? And if you can, that allows you to keep marketing, which is the number one thing that will drive your business. So I think you're, again, dropping so much wisdom. Let's talk about if you don't mind, now you're at what I would call the number one brokerage in the world, right? And before this, talk about where you were, and you don't have to mention the brokerage name, but where were you and why did you decide to make a switch? Because this sounds like your business was already booming. What made you make a switch?
So I was with my own company. I had my own brokerage, Homes by Krista. Wow. It's a small little boutique. And
when you guys were doing how much?
What was that?
How much were you guys doing at the time before you made the switch? Like, what was your?
I was doing the year I left to go to coaching. I closed 154 transactions.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So like 1.8 million, right, in GCIs, and so but I left to go coach real estate because I just was like missing. So kind of like missing teaching, right? I mean, I'd mastered real estate. I've sold 2,200 homes in my career. And I was like, man, I want something different. And that wasn't like these big teams. Because I hear people a lot of times talk about, oh, we did all this business, but they've got 30 people on their team, right? Like it was just pretty much me and my assistants. And, the last couple of years I brought my brother in because I knew I was going to be transitioning out. So he would go with me on the appointments, but he didn't generate any of the leads. It was just all from, our lead generating, and Josh would come with me. Now Josh is me. I don't show up to the appointment. I'm just like the face of Homes by Krista. I'm on the videos. I'm on the pre-listing presentation video. I'm on videos throughout the transaction, but I never talk to sellers or meet with sellers or buyers. My team does it all because I'm coaching 90% of the time, 95% of the time. I spend about 5 hours a month creating content, creating videos, writing scripts for Homes by Krista, and then making sure that my team is implementing the things I ask them to, and the rest of the time I'm coaching. So what happened is I left to go to EXP because I thought it was just for the liability. I didn't want the liability of being a broker anymore. And I didn't want to have to worry because I wasn't really as involved. So I thought, I'm going to go to EXP. And so, sorry, I'm supposed to say that one, or yeah, I can. I'm sorry. So you didn't want me to say the other one. So I went to EXP, and for about 6 months, I didn't tell anybody. No one knew I was at the EXP. It was like I was a secret EXP agent because I didn't really understand about the agent attraction. But then what happened one day is 2 people that were really high up in my coaching company, my human resources director and my marketing person, right? They were close people to me. I found out that they were behind my back while they were working for me. They were creating another company that was in direct competition to a new company that I was working on within that team of teaching what I do to realtors, to local professionals. So they were doing something similar. And I realized that a lot of the things just weren't being done correctly. And it's my fault. I should have known. I'm the owner of the company, right? I take extreme ownership in it. But when they left like that, I realized man, things could just all of a sudden go away. And I really should have multiple forms of income. So one of the people that was, one of my partners that were above me called and said, Krista, I don't think you understand all the things EXP can do for you. I don't think you understand how you can serve more people coaching. I don't think you get it. And I think you owe it to yourself and to your students to at least look into this. And I was like, oh man, you had to throw my students in there, right? So of course I started researching it, and I spent 2 weeks. Seriously, Casanova, I watched the model explained like 30 times. I watched Gene Frederick's napkin explanation. Like, I watched every video you can, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I can take this and I can do this on a mass level. Agents need to learn how to create, multiple streams of income. They can't even ever retire. Like, so many agents are going to be so hurt. They don't have any 401k. Like, it is my moral obligation to get the word out. And so I started, and we've brought in 157 people into my organization. 85 of them I sponsored on my front line in 5.5 months, maybe 6, because I was just like, I'm so dedicated to just, everyone needs to know this. So I love it. Now I'm just as obsessed with that as I am coaching.
Yeah. So there's so much to unpack there, and we're going to do our best to keep this short and concise. The first thing, though, is why do you feel like so many people here? First, you did all this research after you were already in the company. Am I correct? Like 6 months in, you were already. But in the beginning, when someone first told you about EXP, did you instantly know, or did you have to take your time and wait 6 months to a year before you jumped in?
Yeah, it took me about a year, and I'm so bummed too, because my partner, Jesse Zagorski, he has over $600,000 in stock right now. And he was only a year ahead of me. $600,000 in stock. That's enough to put 10 kids through college. Right. I was just like, God, that 1 year, remember Money Like Speed. And I waited a year. That year cost me $600,000. I was doing really well in coaching. And so I thought, well, why do I want to go to EXP? I don't need EXP. I need coaching. But the truth of the matter is, as soon as I stop coaching, it's not going to be the same unless I, really can train people to be me and to do what I do. So even that, I realized, just like when people stop selling homes, it's going to stop. I realized, man, I need something new, something else. And so now we're, I'll never forget, I got a check for, I think it was $407, or maybe it was $607. It was under $1,000, right? And I mean, I've had my best month in real estate, I did $360,000, and now we've done over $1 million in a month in coaching. And but this $400 check that I got, I was like, oh my God, I got $400 passive income, and I was so excited. I was just like, because I didn't have to do anything. And I did, how it is. I'm recruiting, and I'm doing webinars and all these kind of things. But I mean, it's passive, and I can just see what it's going to look like in 5 years from now, And so that was such a cool thing for me. And if you would have ever told me that I'd be so excited about making $400 after what we've been able to accomplish now, I would have laughed at you. But, I am. And we've had months where we've done $10,000 now. We're kind of starting to slowly creep up there. But it's passive. And so I'm really excited about it. And not only that, now I'm bringing people in the organization under me, and I'm able to help them. And we're such a tight knit community. I'm just like, I was meant for this, right? I'm meant for this because now I can really make more of an impact. And you want to know what I love about EXP? And I'm not trying to promote EXP, but I love the fact that, for example, you're having me on this call. You're with EXP. You're not we're not in the same organization. And everybody wants to help everybody, I mean, real estate is so oh, don't tell anybody, or don't help anybody, or they might steal my secrets. And it's such of a lack of abundant mindset. And I think that's why so few people do well, is because they just don't have that ability to really pay it forward and add value. They're so afraid of everyone taking their stuff that it just holds them back and it compresses them. Well, EXP, and also when you're in your organization, it's totally opposite, because everybody wants to help everyone grow, because when you grow, they grow, and vice versa. So it's just such a collaboration. And I think agents really need that, because they just don't have it. It's really sad.
100%. So for you, knowing that you coach a lot of agents, especially brand new agents that are looking to get their feet off the ground, what I find is that
we do a ton of top producers and middle.
Got it. True, definitely. I'm not trying to demean by any. If you're a top producer, yes, the strategy that you still gave, just like you said, if somebody's already doing 100 homes, they could take that and do 300 homes.
Yeah.
I mean, that was phenomenal. But the reason why I was asking that question is I think a lot of people, a lot of new agents, they see it, they love the model, they love the concept, but then they get afraid because it's virtual and they've never seen that before. And they say, once I learn more about the business, then I'll come over to EXP, right? What do you say to those agents?
So I think that they have a very valid point if they don't get in the right organization. So don't just join EXP because it's your friend or because you know somebody or because there's an EXP in your city. Quite frankly, the organization that you join is a huge part of whether or not you're going to be successful. And so I know, like you, I'm sure, like we've just made our organization to where we've got trainings 5 days a week. We've got agent attraction trainings and accountability calls every day for our people. Like we have just done so much. We have weekly meetings and our people feel they're just so much support. But without that right organization, I think you got to be careful, because it is virtual and you might feel like the Lone Ranger and it might be difficult. So make sure that when you join an organization, it isn't just because you know somebody or they've told you about it. Make sure you understand how they're going to add value to you, how they can help you, what business tools that they have, the structure of what they're offering. It's so, so important in the success. I believe that like wholeheartedly.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I was partnering up, once the word got out in my town that I was looking at EXP, a couple other teams approached me. And I think that you have to really analyze who you are, have self-awareness and understand what your strengths are, right? And then be able to partner up with somebody who capitalizes on wherever you're weak at, right? So if you don't have someone, if you're already good on video, don't go necessarily to someone like that. Like for me, I'll tell you, when I partnered up, it wasn't about selling more real estate because I understood how to network with the top producers inside of my marketing and outside. It was more about the leverage piece of the revenue share. I didn't know how to build a big brokerage. So the guys, I was just fortunate enough that a couple of the guys, while they were in real estate, they came from a network marketing background. So they understood routine, structure, they understand showing up, consistency. And I was like, because they had built big teams. So again, that was where I was weak at. And that's what I think other people need to analyze as well.
That's so important. That's so important. I honestly think that agent attraction is just as important. Like to me, I'm just as passionate about teaching my students how to attract agents as I am teaching them how to do real estate, because I really want them to understand the value of passive income and the value of being able to stop one day. I'll tell you, I remember I was on vacation the year that I went into coaching, and I was on the phone like the entire vacation. I was getting up at 3 a.m, working in the lobby for 6 hours because we were on a 3-hour time change difference. I was in Hawaii, being on the phone at the pool, being on the phone on the excursions. And my kids were like, "Mom, get off the phone." My family was like, "God, Krista, get off the phone. You're on the phone the whole time." I got home and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm exhausted. Like I'm tired. When you're selling that many homes, even though I have amazing systems in place, I've got amazing, workflows, but to be able to sell 150, 170 homes in a year without, a big team of realtors helping you, it is a lot, right? No matter how great your systems are. And I just burned out. I called my brother and I said, "Listen, I know we had like a 1-year plan. Well, that plan is starting right now. I need you to come over on Monday and I am going into coaching full bore. So I got to get you trained up to be me and I'm out." Right. And eventually, to do the kind of level of business that I want to do, I like having I was in a foster home and a group home, so I've got the kind of security issues sometimes, I think. So I like to have a lot of money in the bank and to have a lot of security. And, selling 10 homes a year, you just can't do that. I have complete financial freedom now, and it's because of the amount of homes that I've sold and what I've done to take care of it. But there comes a point for everyone where you are going to get tired. And unless you've got money in the bank or your husband's got a good 401k or retirement, it's gonna be scary when you do. So and you're gonna get to a point probably like I did where you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. But you are gonna have to, unless you have a plan B. There has to be a plan B or you're gonna be stuck doing this forever. Like how many agents' retirement parties do you go to? Like never, right? Because nobody ever retires.
Right, they die. Right. No, for sure. Yeah, that's so it's you gotta give yourself options. I think everyone, when people start businesses, right, real businesses, brick and mortar businesses, at the end of the day, they always at least have it in the back of their mind that they have the option to exit the business, sell it, pass it down, do something like that. A lot of real estate agents, first off, obviously you want to have a database, but we also know that your database might not work as well because if the people are the same age as you, and then you pass down that database, all of a sudden to whoever you pass it down to, it might not be the same synergy and connection. So what's
Yes.
your next option?
You're in trouble. Yeah, you're just in big trouble. I think so many people are like that. So, I mean, I think with a lot of people, they just have to open up their mind, you know? So like for me, I've got a real estate coaching business. I've got a real estate business. Now I have EXP, which is kind of like a third business, right? I was very busy, but I always believe that you should be open-minded to opportunities. And so when my partners came to me, I listened to them. They flew down. I really had an open mind. I wasn't ready yet. It took me a year for them to finally, for my light to go off, you know? And I wish I had been a little bit more open to it prior. And so what I say to people is there's a reason why Keller Williams, this model has worked for them for so long, because it works. It's not a pyramid, or pretty much every real estate company is a pyramid. You're paying the corporation and the broker and the, you know, blah, blah, blah. You can go on and on about that. It's just a different way of doing things. And the reason why Blockbuster is no longer in existence is because, you know, Netflix took them over. It's a cloud-based company. It's just a matter of adapting a little bit. And if you have the right organization that you're under, it doesn't feel like you're in a cloud-based company. I mean, everyone's meeting via Zoom right now anyways. And it's like, it's the new normal, right? It's just a matter of thinking a little bit differently and putting more money in your pocket and being able to have that ability to have passive income. So I could not be more thrilled. And I never ever, you know, promote anything that I don't believe in. If I didn't believe in EXP, I would never tell anybody. I'd still have remained a secret agent.
Right. No, I hear you there. So much wisdom. I can't wait for the world to hear this, and hopefully they gain a different perspective on it. I know where we're going. It's crazy for a lot of people to believe, but just like the saying goes, in the beginning they'll ask you why you're doing it, but in the end they'll ask you how you did it. Right. And so that's always something that I've believed. And yeah, I think more and more people are going to finally have an epiphany at some point in their life. And we've all had that. Like, I remember for me now looking at it being on almost 3 years, it's been like, I should have came over sooner for one, but two, I should have dove in sooner. And we all have that little regret, but the regret is not that you did it. The regret is that you didn't go harder sooner once you figured out about it, right? Some people, they saw Uber, they went all in. Some other people, they're like, I'm just going to dip my toe in the water. And then those are the people that's like, I should have went all in. I was already in. So I just got two last questions for you. And this has been a phenomenal conversation. But the first one that I want to ask is, knowing what you know now, how much wisdom that you know now, I always like to ask the question of, if there was one thing going back that you wish that you would have changed, or even better yet, that you wish that you would have implemented sooner to accelerate your path on your dream and your journey, what would that one thing be?
I would have definitely started doing videos sooner. That's one thing. And I would have, that's the main thing. I would have just done videos sooner, right? I would have done videos sooner. And I would have trusted myself a little bit more. I remember in the beginning, I ended up partnering with a top producing agent, and it was like just a nightmare. I didn't believe in myself enough. I would have probably trusted a little bit more in myself, definitely done videos sooner. And other than that, I mean, I've always worked really hard in real estate, and I don't have a whole lot of regrets, because I just really highly encourage people to lean in, right? Lean into technology, lean into being different, lean into, you want to be as different as possible, and that's what will give you a unique value add, where you actually aren't just a commodity, but you're somebody that people are going to want because of that. Just remember that, like, try to be as unique and different as possible and lean into change.
I love it. Love it. And the last question that I have for you, there's somebody out there, and you kind of already touched on this, but I always love to give people that last little bit of nuggets. There's somebody out there that's very inspired by you, but they have that little voice in their head, and that little voice says that maybe they're not strong enough, they're not smart enough, or maybe they just don't have enough resources. What's the one thing that you would say to that person to get them to just take action?
Anybody can do anything, right? I mean, when anybody can do anything if you just keep trying and not stopping. And you've got to figure out how to go over, around, through. I mean, just start, right? There's a part of our brain called the prefrontal cortex, and its job is to get you to go out there and reach for the stars and to do anything. There's another part called the amygdala, and the amygdala's job is to hold you back and keep you in your comfort zone. And the problem is that whatever one you use more, it starts to grow, right? So the idea is we want to get the prefrontal cortex to eventually take over and crush the amygdala. And so, like, crush that amygdala, like, just go for it, because you just got to start, and just start and keep a good attitude. Watch what you're saying to yourself. Watch what your thoughts are, because thoughts become things. Be really cognizant of the things you're saying to yourself, the words you're putting in there, because subconsciously you're putting those into your brain. Just focus on being nice to yourself. Treat yourself like you would treat other people. Just know that if the foster kid could do it, and the girl from juvenile hall, and the girl that was in a group home, if she could do it, wet my bed until I was, I think, oops, sorry.
What happened?
I don't know. I just lost you real quick.
Can you hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. Yeah. So you were saying the girl that was in foster home.
Yeah, I wet my bed until I was like in first grade. I had a learning disability. I was in a special ed class, second grade, because I couldn't read. And if I can do it, anybody can. There's nothing special about those people that you see do it. They just do it. They just put themselves out there, and they take a little bit more risk. So just start.
Love it. Well, there you have it, Dream Nation. She's given so much wisdom today. I guess the last question I want to ask you, and I'll put all the links in the show notes, but if anybody who wants to stay connected with you, where can they find you at?
Yeah, so if you go to, I have a free day challenge. It actually is coming up next week. But I'm not sure when this is going to come out, but we do it once a month, and you just go to KristaMayshore.com/client conversion. KristaMayshore.com/client conversion, and it's free. It's 5 days. You coach with me. I teach you how to do video and how to get comfortable, and how to, take one little piece of action a little bit more each day. And you have the support of the group to help you get through it, the support of me. And we've helped thousands of agents go through this. And the average agent picks up 2 new clients in a 30-day period from taking this challenge. We've had people pick up as many as 8 in a 30-day time frame, but the average is 2. So if you're looking for 2 new clients, I can help you get there if you show up to that.
There you have it. Well, again, thank you so much. If no one else has told you, I want to be the first one today to say I appreciate you, and just thank you. So I look forward to watching your growth. I look forward to building this thing with you. But just as she said, Dream Nation, you have to take action, because if you don't, that dream that you have, and we all have a dream, will only merely be a fantasy. That's all for this one. We'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks for having me.
If you've gotten anything out of this episode, do me a favor and head on over to iTunes if you have access, and leave me a review. My whole goal is to make sure that I'm serving you all the right way. You're my tribe. You're who I care about. You're why I do this. So if you want to give me any type of thanks, or if you want to let me know whatever your thoughts or your feelings are from this episode or any other episode that you've listened to, leave me a rating or review. And also, if you're looking for more tips, strategies, and even resources when it comes to leveling up your real estate game, head on over to DreamNationAcademy.com. We have a really cool real estate section there, and it's something that I wish that I would have had when I first got started in real estate. So that's DreamNationAcademy.com. Don't wait. I'll see you on the other side.